for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side. Every foot alive. It's Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go. I don't think they're ready for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side. Every foot alive. It's Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go.
Hey, everybody, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm your girl, Kimberly Eichelle, and welcome to another episode of Talented Thursdays. I'm so excited, y'all. I know I say it every week, but for real, I'm excited because we have a legend on here tonight. So grab a friend, come on in, tag somebody, make sure you're sharing, liking, commenting tonight because we have a great guest that you don't want to miss. So with that being said, let me say welcome in. Welcome to those of you who are watching on YouTube. You may be watching on Instagram. Let's see. Or Facebook, or you might be listening on Vegas Praise Radio. But wherever you are, welcome. And thank you for constantly coming in and showing your love and support to all the great artists here on Talented Thursdays. Now, let me also say happy Juneteenth. Yes, indeed. Happy Juneteenth to everybody out there. We are celebrating today. And I want to talk about it just a little bit before I introduce our guest for tonight. So, all right, y'all, let's take a moment to celebrate something powerful, Juneteenth. Now, if you're not familiar, come on, pull up a chair because this is American history that everyone should know. Juneteenth marks June 19th, 1865, the day Union troops rolled into Galveston, Texas, and told the last remaining enslaved African Americans that they were free. The Black folks, y'all, that we were free. Now, keep in mind, this was 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. So freedom came late, but it came strong. So picture this, soldiers on horseback, a crowd gathering, and a proclamation that changed lives forever. Joy, tears, shock, celebration. That is all the spirit of Juneteenth. It's not just a Texas thing. It's not just a Black thing. It's a thing that every American needs to celebrate. And that's why we are celebrating today. Juneteenth is a day of freedom for us. And I am so glad that I have this gentleman here tonight to celebrate not only Juneteenth, but to talk about new music and so many great things. I'm going to jump over to the comments just briefly. I have Raymond, Uncle Ray Coates, an artist out of California watching. He said, good evening, Kimberly. Good evening to you, Uncle Ray. Trina Latrice is watching from California as well. She said, hey, sister. Hello, hello. Wylena is joining us. Thank you so much for tuning in. She said, good evening. Looking forward to the show. Happy Juneteenth. Yes, indeed. And Miss Yvonne Scott is in the building. She said, hello, Kimberly. I'm here. I'm listening. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in for this show tonight, for sure, for sure. So tonight's guest, he's a legend in the music industry who's known all over the world for his huge classic hit, Express Yourself. Y'all know the song. His music has been featured in over 50 soundtracks for television and film, including Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Remember the Titans, Guess Who, which featured Bernie Mac, Boogie Nights, Lyle Lyle Crocodile, Soul Train, and so many more. He's a singer, an instrumentalist, a songwriter, and an entertainer with a great smile, y'all. I've seen the video. Tonight, I get to talk with someone who's been in the music industry for a long time. And I know that he's going to drop some knowledge on the ins and outs of the entertainment industry. So stay tuned. Up next, y'all, up next, you'll hear the voice of the one and only Charles Wright. You're watching Talented Thursdays.
I don't think they're ready for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side. If you feel alive. Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Y'all know how we do out there. Get your drum roll going. Give it up for none other than the legendary Charles Wright. Hello, hello.
Hello, Kimberly. How you doing?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm great, thank God.
Yes, indeed. God is good, huh?
Absolutely.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. We have some people joining us. They're watching. I have Don Cody watching from Florida. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, indeed. Well, awesome. You know, I am glad to have you here on Juneteenth because I know you have some rich history inside of you. So thank you for coming to Talented Television, Talented Thursdays on such a special day.
It is my pleasure.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate that. So tell me something that I like to do with each of my guests. I like for them to rep their city. So those that are watching, I need you to rep your city as well. And what I mean by that, Mr. Wright, is tell us where you are, what city you're representing, and something that we might want to do or maybe even eat when we come to your city. So what's the best thing about your city?
Right now we have protests going on.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's a reason for that protest, huh?
Yes, I represent Los Angeles and Watts, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So LA and Watts. So for those who have never been to California, look, LA is a beautiful city. It really is. You all have so much there. So you are in a perfect place. But like you said, you know, they're protesting right now all around the country, really. You know, there is so much going on. So how are you feeling about that?
I've always tried to do something positive.
Yes.
And you have to dodge politics sometime in order to do that. But I have a song.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the song is Comment. Comment.
Comment. Okay.
Yes, that I recorded with the Watts 103rd Street Rhythm Band 50 years ago.
Wow.
And it talks about all men being truly brothers and us loving one another.
Yes, indeed.
But it talks about also we should be released from slavery because we really are totally out of that yet.
Come on.
And the song caused me a lot of problems. But it's worth listening to, I believe. So if y'all want to listen to Comment by the Watts 103rd Street Rhythm Band, you can go on C-SPAN or wherever you go and check it out.
Yep, all of those places to go and check you out. Absolutely. You know, it's so funny how music is one of those things, you know, it's still applies today. You said you wrote that song 50 years ago, but it's still something, like you said, go and listen to it now, because we are still fighting. We are still, looking for a better way of life and a better way to live and come together as brothers and sisters. So they definitely need to put that song in rotation.
I tried last year to get Warner Brothers to re-release the song, but they didn't do it. They wouldn't do it.
Wow.
They threatened me that they would do it, but they really didn't.
They wouldn't do it, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I have Yvonne Scott watching. She said, wow, talk about history. Thank you, Mr. Wright. She's saying thank you for sure. Also, Wylena is asking, she said, where's the best fried fish in LA? She wants to know where she could get some fish when she comes there.
Well, there's a few places. There's a place in Compton called the Central Fish Market.
Okay.
And I go there every once in a while, and they do some great fried oysters and all kind of fish like buffalo, which I don't find in most fish places.
No, you don't. No, not buffalo. That's one of my mom's favorite.
Yeah, you have to watch the bones, but the fish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. But those bones are fine and sharp. Huh?
Yes, they certainly are.
Yes, indeed. I also have more faithful steps. She said, hello, friend. Hello, Dinesha. And she says, hello to you, Mr. Wright.
Hello, More. How you doing, darling?
Yes, indeed. So I want to go in. I'd like to go to the beginning of where life and music started for an artist. So I read that you were born in Clarksdale, Mississippi, as the 7th of 12 children, right?
14.
14.
Yes.
Wow. Look, let me get my notes right. Of 14 children. Yes, indeed. So in your book, Up From Where We've Come, it mentions that you endured some hard times growing up in Mississippi before you moved to California. So you were actually on a plantation. Is that correct?
Yes, my family was sharecroppers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell me a little about that.
We had a cruel sharecropping boss who always cheated my father at the end of the year. My father always came out in the hole, so we could rarely get away from him. And when we did get away, we'd have to sneak out in the nighttime, move in the night, middle of the night.
Wow.
And somehow we always ended up back on his plantation, believe it or not. Yeah.
Right.
The whole story is there laid out in that book, Up From Where We've Come.
Yes, indeed. So you're not only a singer, songwriter, musician, you are an author as well. So again, as you heard Mr. Wright say, make sure that you all pick up From Where We've Come to hear his story. There's so much rich history there. And I believe that we can find it on Amazon. Is that correct?
You can find that in my new book, Express Yourself, on Amazon.
Come on. He said, get both books. That's right. Right there on Amazon. Yes.
People want to tell me I'm a great author right now, so I'm proud of myself. I'm getting all 5-star reviews.
Wow. You should be proud. Those are things, you're doing things and have done things that some people only dream of, So it's such a blessing that you don't stop, basically. You say my latest book is called Express Yourself. So, again, you are living out a dream. What gave you that drive? What gives you that spirit to just keep moving forward?
Well, my belief is when you stop, you're dead.
Come on. Okay.
Yeah. So I try to keep going. And I try to keep a positive spin on it all.
Yes, indeed.
And I try to bring positivity to people through my music and through my books.
That's beautiful. It's a way to live, to bring positivity. When you bring positivity to others, you can't help but feel good yourself. We don't have time to deal in no negativity and things like that. When you're positive, it glows from the inside out. And that's when you know that somebody is really real. If you're always positive, they say, wow, he's figured out this thing called life.
Well, we all have our rough days,
Yes, of course.
but I try to keep it going as positively.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So I often ask artists who influenced their love of music. So I know you moved to California around age 12 or so. And at first you couldn't listen to secular music. Is that correct?
Yep. All of my life, in my early part of my life, my father was so religious that he and his sharecropping boss had convinced him that the blues was the devil's music.
Mm.
And so he went for it. I didn't go for it.
Okay.
By the
Yeah.
time I got 14, I'm walking the streets, walking home from school with the kids, and they're all singing these songs that I had never heard. So I asked them where they hear the song. They told me about this radio show that they listen to every afternoon, every evening.
Okay.
And I started listening to it, and I got hooked on the stuff right away. I mean, I never felt so good about anything until I heard a singer named Jesse Belvin. And Jesse Belvin had the most beautiful style I had ever heard. And so I looked him up in the phone book and I called his number.
Uh-huh.
After 3 or 4 times, I finally got him. I said, Mr. Belvin, I want to sing and I want to sound just like you.
Yeah.
He gave me a great piece of advice.
What was that?
He said, get your own style, boy, and leave mine the F alone.
Okay.
I thought that was a compliment. He said, did you ever hear Johnny Ace? I said, I heard him. He sing good too, but I love your style. You don't get it by now, boy, I'm hanging up.
Uh-oh.
I said, no, please don't hang up. I don't know what y'all doing. All I know is I want to be a part of it. And he was great enough to let me come to a rehearsal with a group he was mentoring that weekend. And after that, you couldn't pull me away from this thing if you had a 10-ton
Wow. Couldn't pull you away from that music. That was bold to pick up that phone book and start dialing, right? You like, I'm going to get this man on the phone. I love that you did that.
I was following my spirit.
Yeah. Uh-oh, come on. Yes, indeed. Follow your spirit.
Yeah,
It won't lead you wrong, huh?
that's right.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So Jesse Belvin, he sang Guess Who? And he also co-wrote the song Earth Angel, which is such a pretty song. So
Yeah.
what were some of the things that you learned while being around him?
He took me on his wing, and he would go to Hollywood, and they wouldn't give artists the real royalties in those days. So he would go to Hollywood when things got hard, and he'd go to Hollywood and sell his songs to some wannabe songwriters who would record the music and put it out and put their name on as writers and take the money. So I learned by running around with him how to not get that, have that done to me totally. So I was very blessed that I knew Jesse Belvin because I learned how to hold on to my own property, my own publishing.
Look, and that's a great tip of knowledge, that you just dropped, to hold on to your own, because of course in Hollywood and in entertainment, it's crazy because people are still doing that today. They are still trying to take others' music. So with you dropping that little bit of information, maybe someone who's listening will grab hold of that as well and know to own your own things, when it comes to songwriting and things like that, to have the splits and such right, because people will take from you.
Yeah, later on in life, I was working in a studio in Hollywood that was ran by an old Jewish lady.
Mm-hmm.
She really stamped that in my mind. She said, when a company sign you to a contract, they also give you a publishing contract to sign. You don't have to sign that publishing contract.
Mm.
Keep your publishing, whatever you do, and you can negotiate with it. You might want to let them have a part of it, but it's yours to keep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good knowledge right there. I want to jump over into the comments just briefly. Let's see. Uncle Ray, he said, hello, Mr. Wright. Our group used to cover Express Yourself because it not only got people on the dance floor, but it had a message.
You got good taste, my brother.
Say it again. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It was just something about that song that would grab you. You hear those vocals on Express Yourself. You hear all the music that was coming together. So I want to ask you, you began singing pretty early on, but when did you learn to play instruments and such as well?
I got involved before Watts 103rd Street Rhythm Band. I was involved with 3 other groups, vocal groups, that had hit records. One of those groups was called the Shields, had a huge record called You Cheated. But the only instrument on that record was a guitar.
Oh, wow.
And so we started out at the Apollo Theater, and the band there had about 20 some odd instruments, no guitar. And then we go on a tour over there in New York and Philadelphia and Chicago and Boston, Baltimore, places like that. And all the band, none of them had a guitar. So I didn't like the way we sounded with all these horns trying to play a guitar part. So I figured I got to do something about it. So I started teaching myself how to play the guitar, because I went to a teacher and he threw me out of his office because I'm left-handed.
Wow.
And I tried to show him what I knew and playing backwards, and he kicked me out of his office. So I learned how to play the guitar. Then I went to school and learned what I was doing. And then I became a studio musician. And I was doing very good as a studio musician. But I wanted to do the Watts 103rd Street thing. So I could have made it either way.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was in demand for playing the guitar, because I had a different sound because my guitar was turned upside up. I was hitting the top strings were the small strings, and the regular guitar, the top strings are the bass strings.
Wow. But you taught yourself and it worked for you, and it worked out well. Very good.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I have Nabel Davis. He is a producer, songwriter, musician, all of that in Tacoma, Washington. And he said, I remember us playing that song back in the day. He's originally from Bogalusa, Louisiana. So he remembers playing Express Yourself as well. So look, you have all these musicians in here saying that they played your song. That was a good song. And still to this day, whenever you hear it, you got to get kind of funky with it, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm proud that the guys are doing that. That's great.
Yes, indeed. So tell me, I want to jump over once more. Yvonne Scott is watching from Las Vegas. She said, passionate about your craft, perseverance, and determination. She said, share that wisdom, Mr. Wright. That's right. He's given us great wisdom tonight.
I'll try my best, darling.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Cody, Don Cody said, Express Yourself song is featured in over 50 movies and TV commercials. I'm telling you, it's not too many people that ain't ever heard that and got to moving. You know, when you got to that, oh, do it to it. I said, oh,
Yeah,
yes,
well, it's been actually in over 100 television commercials,
wow.
over 35 or 40 movies.
You know, I love that because at the top of this interview, you told us that you came from a family where you all were sharecroppers.
Yes.
To having your music in over 100 commercials and in over 40 movies, what does that feel like?
I'm so thankful.
Yes, sir.
God's in control.
Yes.
And it feels good not to have to struggle for money.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to give money to people who really need it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and I support a lot of people.
I believe it. I believe it. But you know what? When you have a good heart, and like you said, just that positivity is coming back to you. I am a believer that God is excellent and He is a keeper of His word. And we know that we reap what we sow, right? So if you're
Absolutely.
sowing good seed into the ground, if you're sowing love into the ground, God can't help but be a blessing to you, you know. And I'm so glad about what He's done for you thus far, because I know there's still more to come. So just thus far, He's been good, huh?
I'm grateful for whatever happens from here on.
Yes, indeed. So let's see. These comments are jumping tonight. Nabel said, that's rich. Also, he said, I think Jimi Hendrix played with the strings upside down as well. So that is something. Yvonne said, quite an accomplishment to have your music featured in movies and commercials. Yes, indeed. A huge accomplishment. And then also, Wylena said, this history works extremely well with the Juneteenth celebration. Very timely show. Thank you, Mr. Wright, for sharing your history with us today. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm telling you, it's the perfect show. When I realized that you were on Juneteenth, I said, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. And it is. It is. So let me see. I hope that I have my numbers right. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you released one of your first singles around 1966 and you're still making music today. So what is your secret to longevity in the entertainment business? What's your secret?
Your love for your craft
Mm,
and trying to keep it real.
yes.
Yeah, and I'm not happy with what's happening today because we're not. I explain something to people sometimes. When you hear a beat, your heart synchronizes with it.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that from Africa.
Wow.
And today, the beat is being mostly generated by electricity, not by the human soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to get back to the human part of it, playing live music rather than turning on a metronome and playing with that, because a machine has no heart.
Oh,
I'll try to give people something that's real from my heart.
yes.
And I think that's what was all about in the first place. It has been for years. Ray Charles and James Brown, Otis Redding, all those great people that made these wonderful records. And now we're veered off into some electricity instead of that, what they gave us. That to me is so important.
Yes.
I think people are reacting strangely, mentally, because our music is no longer on track.
Mm-hmm.
Our music is no longer coming from the heart.
Yes.
So a lot of people who cheat gonna think I'm full of doo-doo when I say something like that. But that's real. We need to bring the soul back to our music and share that with the world, because we have something special that nobody else has. I'm from the area I'm from, Clarksdale, David Ruffin, Sam Cooke, Muddy Waters, Ike Turner, myself.
Wow.
Go on and on. All people come from that little area. We spark the world with something that can't, a fire that can't really be put out. People are trying to imitate us all over the world, and we're losing it because we have settled for the machine they have handed us while they go on and try to make the music that we are really capable of. I don't know if that makes sense on your show, but
it makes perfect sense on this show. You're talking good, as the people would say. You're talking good, Mr. Wright. You know, it's funny because I'm looking at the comments and they're coming through, definitely coming through. Trina Latrice said, music today is not the same. You had to really sing back in the day. And that is so true. And the thing that's so powerful about that to me is your music and the music of all those greats that you named, you know, Sam Cooke, David Ruffin, you know, all of those people, the music is still prevalent today. Not only is it still prevalent, it still sounds great. It still sounds amazing, you know?
Because it's the real deal.
Because it's the soul. You already said it's the heartbeat, you know?
Yeah.
So it can't die. It cannot die. It's only going to continue to reach more and more generations. So thank you for sure for what you've done for us. Yvonne Scott said, Mr. Wright, thank you for blessing the world with such a magnificent and well-known song. Express yourself. Keep it real and love your craft. Your musical contribution is definitely as legendary as you are. Again, thank you, Mr. Wright.
Thank you, lady, whoever that lady is.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Isn't it beautiful just to hear, you know, I write songs as well. And I am nowhere near your status, okay? Not even a little bit, but I think it's so awesome. I remember the first time hearing my song on the radio. Actually, my niece was listening. She was in the car and she ran in the house and said, TT, your song's on the radio. It just blew me away, you know? So I'm like, oh my gosh. So do you remember what that moment was like for you to hear your song for the very first time on the radio?
Yes, I remember.
Yes.
I remember like it was yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, because actually, my first record was picked up by a disc jockey. Another man had produced it already. He picked it up and he said he would play it tonight on the radio.
Wow.
And so my buddies and I rode around listening for him to play it in my buddy's car. And he never played it. So here it is, 2:00 in the morning. So we gave it up. I got home, I got out the car, and I apologized to them because we had done all that on my word. And I went in the back door, and I came through the kitchen and into the dining room, and then I heard him blowing out there. Whoop, whoop. I ran out the front door, and then that was my first time in my life I heard myself on the radio. And the side door there, my father came out the side door. What's all this noise out here?
Uh-huh.
And I said, that's my song on the radio. He didn't care whose song it was. hours away from here. And
Oh no.
one of the guys jumped out and pulled his shirt off and challenged my father. It was really a mess. So I'll never forget that night.
You will never forget that night. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was a high and then it was action. It was everything going on at that time.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Yes, but there is nothing like it. I'm sure, you were excited. And like you said, your father came from another time when, he was told that it was the devil's music and it was a lot of ruckus at that time. But I'm sure, he was proud of his son for sure. For sure. We have Blink Show TV. They said hello from Blink Show TV. Thank you for the music and history. Thank you all for tuning in tonight and supporting this legendary artist, Mr. Charles Wright. Yes.
You're quite welcome.
Yes, that's awesome. So your latest single is Follow Your Spirit, which is in rotation on over 80 radio stations nationwide. So your music is playing everywhere now. So congratulations on that, of course. But tell me what is your thoughts behind Follow Your Spirit? When you were penning that song, what did you want to say to the people?
There's so much negative stuff going on in the world. And I just try to give them a spark, a little bit of positivity. And that's one of the reasons for Follow Your Spirit.
Yes, indeed. That's beautiful. Well, I want to play it for those who are watching and listening. So bear with me as I bring it up. I definitely want everyone to be able to hear the new latest single by Mr. Charles Wright, which is Follow Your Spirit. So stay with me. You are watching Talented Thursdays.
Follow your spirit, and you'll never go wrong. Follow your spirit, you'll always make it home. Follow your spirit, listen to your heart. Oh, well, it'll always tell you when to stop and when to start. Don't let other people bring you down. Don't you listen to that familiar sound. Somebody tell you that it can't be done. Show them that you're right there on the one. Some people don't like it when they see you headed up. Watch out for the backstabbers and all them other nuts. Follow your spirit, listen to your heart. Oh, yeah. Follow your spirit, yeah. Listen to your heart. Oh, girl. Just look around, and if you follow through, you'll see that God's in your corner, just rooting for you. There's a little light up above your head. If you get in tune with yourself, it'll never let you stray. Oh, listen. If your mind should tell you what you're doing ain't right, no time to struggle, fuss or fight. Your heart will hardly ever stir your own. When you're feeling out of place, you're in a place where you don't belong. Follow your spirit, listen to your heart. Oh, girl. Follow your spirit, yeah. Listen to your heart. Oh, girl. lie up above your head. No, it will always tell you when you start to stray. You gotta watch it go. That little spirit. Everybody say spirit. Listen to your voice. You got to use your power. Positive thinking. Too much worry, smoking and drinking. Spirit, listen to your heart. Follow your spirit, yeah. Listen to your heart. Just look around, follow through. There's an awful lot available to you. God is in your mind today. Just be yourself and he'll show the way. Follow your spirit. Don't make it feel real.
Yes, sir. Follow your spirit. That is excellent. Excellent. Such
Thank
a
you.
happy, upbeat song. Such a fun video. Great music. Great music. I want to jump over to the comments just to talk about some of the things that our viewers are saying. Congratulations on your new song, Follow Your Spirit. I hear that express yourself tone. I love it. Another comment is from my mom, actually, that's watching. She said, wisdom set to music. Tell that story. Yes, indeed. Wylena said, I think they are feeling that Soul Train line. Yes, they were. Enjoying the dancing too. Yes, indeed. Yvonne said, come on, Soul Train line. Great music and message. Get it, y'all. They are having a ball listening to your music. Uncle Ray said, that's a hit. He gave it all these eyes between the teeth. That's a hit. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We are celebrating Juneteenth. We have the legendary Mr. Charles Wright here, and you want to make sure that you get Follow Your Spirit into rotation. Look, that's what the young people call a banger. Okay, Mr. Wright, that's a banger right there. That's a great song. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. I was over here dancing. So much, funk and soul that you can hear throughout the music. I know that each songwriter has their own way of composing and putting a song together. So what inspires you typically, and what is your method, if you have a special method for songwriting?
I always try to give the people some positive input, and hopefully they'll accept it. You never know what's going to happen with a song.
Yes.
I've written many songs. I accuse myself of writing over 300 songs.
Wow.
Yeah. And I try to keep it positive.
Yes, indeed.
And
that's one thing you said, that the soul can't lead you wrong. I was reading about, even with Express Yourself, that at first they thought you was missing it, right? They thought that this ain't it.
Nobody liked it. My band members didn't want to play on it. Some of them, they didn't like it so much.
I cannot even believe that. Nobody that's watching can believe it. I know that it's true, but it's hard to believe.
Not true.
It's such a hit,
Yeah, well, I believed in it, so I knew what it was, even though they didn't feel it.
Wow. You kept believing even when others didn't. And look where it's gotten you. We talked about those numbers a few minutes ago, So if you would have gave up on you, you know,
No, never.
never, never. I love that. Tell
Yeah.
me, what piece of advice do you have for someone who may want to dive into the music industry today? What piece of advice can they get on this show tonight from a legend?
I wish I could give you something real good,
Uh-huh.
but the state of the business today is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if you're lucky and you give people something real and positive, you might be able to cut through. But
Yeah.
I mean, I might sell 1 million copies of Follow Your Spirit. And the way they got it set up today, I might not get no more than $2,000.
Ain't that something?
I think the major companies, when the computer came in and social media, and we could go and make our own records in our own studio
Mm-hmm.
and collect our own money, I think they fixed it so that can't happen.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Yeah, it's sad to say, but if I was a young person coming up today and they keep putting all this fake stuff out there, do something real. You might make it through.
That's good. That's good. Because coming out as an artist, sometimes you don't know what you want your sound to be. Sometimes you don't know, exactly what you want to do. But if you're true to you, it sounds like you're saying if you be real to you and you give some positivity out there, you just may be able to break on through. So I love that. I love that. Be true to you, because in the industry, in the entertainment industry, there are so many different people who try to guide you and pull you this way and that way, and you may not know who to trust and all of those things. But if you follow your what? Spirit. Yes, sir. Follow your spirit. You won't be led wrong,
Yes.
Yes, indeed. I want to ask you, what is one of your fondest performance memories? Like what, first of all, let me just go back just briefly before I ask you that question. You said that you performed at the Apollo. That is somewhere that I have not even been yet. So for you to even, grace that Apollo stage, you have done some big things. So tell me, what is one of your fondest performance memories? It may have been somewhere here in the US, it may have been out of the country, but what is one of your best memories of performing?
Sometimes, most of the time, when my group and I perform my song Comment, I got such a great response from most people.
Wow.
I remember doing it for Dr. Martin Luther King's wife's birthday.
Wow.
And she sat in front of me crying like a baby because she was moved by the song.
I love that. I love that. That is beautiful. And you told us to listen to Comment. You said if we have not heard it, we need to listen to Comment. So again, you all make sure that you look that song up, Comment by Charles Wright, and just hear what touched, Coretta Scott King and so many other people. I love that you have that memory. That's something that you can definitely place in your little treasure chest. That's a great memory to have.
Don't go looking for that song expecting funk junk like in the Express Yourself trunk.
Okay. What we gonna get?
It's a ballad.
It's a ballad.
If all men are truly brothers, why can't we love one another? Love and peace from ocean to ocean, Somebody please second my motion. If all men were born to be free, then what about you? What about me? In a world full of hate, there's nothing left. You enslave me, you'll never rescue yourself. And those last lines, that's the problem with that song.
Wow. Oh my goodness. We need that song today.
We always need that song.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We need to show so much love today. And your music and your spirit shows so much love to the people, you know. So I just thank you. I really thank you for being here. Wylena, she said, mercy, mercy indeed. I'm listening to those lyrics, trying not to tear up myself. Okay. You just speaking them right now, and it's touching. Yvonne said, come on now, a ballad, so talented. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Wow. Well, what is one thing that you would like your fans, your followers to know about you? Something that they may not know. What is one thought that you want to leave with them?
I'm just a simple country boy.
Come on.
That's it.
That's it, and that's all, huh?
Yeah.
That's it, and that's all. Well, I thank you for being down to earth. You know, I thank you for taking time out to talk to us tonight. I typically do a word association game. When I do that, I give you a word, and you can either talk about that word or sing a song about that word. Would you like to join in on that tonight?
That sounds scary to me, baby.
Okay, well, we won't do it. I'm just glad that you are here. So listen, we are excited that the legendary Mr. Charles Express Yourself Wright is here tonight on Talented Thursdays. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And just for the music that you have given to this nation and beyond. Again, it has been positive. It has influenced so many others. It has reached so many places, and it's such an inspiration to others. So thank you, Mr. Wright.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Audience, God bless each and every one of y'all.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes. Give me one more. Say it again.
Express yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it right there. Yes, indeed. Wylena said, if you ever come to Las Vegas, please look up the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel. And Yvonne said, that's it. And that's all. It was a pleasure listening to this amazing interview with Mr. Wright. It has been amazing. I am so grateful again. Until next time, if any of you are interested in being on Talented Thursdays or Talented Television, make sure that you email me. If you're interested in being a guest, your cousin, somebody may want to be on the show, please email me at talentedtelevision@gmail.com. Mr. Wright will tell you when he came in the room, I said, I'm easy like Sunday morning. We're going to have a good time, huh?
You sure did.
Yes, sir. Did we have a good time?
Absolutely, baby.
Yes, indeed. I did too. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Wylena, for your comments, everyone for commenting. Please remember to share. Please remember to like the show, and to also tell someone about Talented Television and Talented Thursdays. I need you all to get this video out, and not only tonight's video, but more artists that I'm bringing to you week after week. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for watching, for listening, and we will see you all next week for Talented Thursdays. All right, y'all. Good night. Thank you, Mr. Cody. God bless. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Cody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good night, you all.
Good night. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.